I do want to ask you about the Andre debate. You know, obviously he is a legend in WWE lore, deservedly so. We've often said that timing is everything. Let's say that Paul White found himself in a time machine and he was in that same spot that Andre was. Does wrestling look differently, do you think? Like, I know that people say what a great, talent Andre was and all that sort of thing, but I'm wondering if the roles are reversed and Andre starting when Paul White is starting and Big Show is starting when Andre is starting, aren't we talking about Big Show like he's the freaking Babe Ruth of wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. It's where Andre was in history. It's 100%. Same with Hogan. Same with San Martino. Same with Londos before that. Same with guys like Gus Sonnenberg. Same, yes, 100%. It's where Andre was in history, and I think that's the difference, and also the difference in how they worked. Big Show was at one place. He was at WCW. He was in a territory. Andre was everywhere, so Andre didn't have to work every week somewhere. That's a massive difference, and that's like the original Sheik. That's like Bruiser Brody. Like complete different dynamic. Then okay, you got to be here, and like Jerry Lawler selling out Memphis 52 straight weeks. Nobody will ever do that again.
Yeah,
that's hard to do. To come in at times is also hard to do to draw money. It's hard to draw money, by the way, but coming in at times, it's a much easier role than being in a territory and having to work every single week. So Andre going around, he could be the giant. He could be the giant here, then he goes over here. He works here for a few weeks, makes a ton of money, goes somewhere else. Big Show was in a territory. It's a complete different dynamic. So it's almost impossible to compare the two. But now then you had history that was being made with Hogan, just happened to be at the right time with the right guy, and all of a sudden you have 93,000 people in the arena. So history was the difference, I believe, between the two giants.
I do want to ask, when we're thinking about his place in history, I can't help but think about the big moments. Like we know that they're memorializing that match from WrestleMania 13 with Austin and Bret Hart this year at the WWE Hall of Fame. But one of those moments one day has to be when Big Show collapsed the ring on SmackDown. Like the first ring collapse. That's got to be up there in great moments in WWE history, doesn't it?
It has to be. That was so freaking well done. I mean, we did so much stuff with Big Show because he could do anything. And you put him out there with Brock or with Mark Henry, and two great athletes. And, you had magic, like these rings collapsing. I mean, yes, that's one of those moments that everybody remembers.
Another memory that I'll never forget about Big Show is, well, I hate to say it, the funeral scene with the Big Boss Man, and the idea that the Boss Man is going to be riding through the graveyard on the hood of the car. You're there when this goes down. Is this one of the craziest doggone things you ever saw happen in WWE? What can you tell us about this?
This was one of the greatest things ever, ever. Ever. I mean, if you're Big Show, you're screwed, because how do you react to this? Your dad's being dragged off, his casket's being dragged off by this guy in an old Barney Fife police car. They had this old police car for him to do it in, not like a modern one. It was like a Barney Fife police car, or like one from the Dukes of Hazzard or something. So I thought it was one of the greatest things we ever did. I just thought it was fantastic. Big Show jumping on the casket, crying. No, hey, look, I'm not making fun of Big Show. He did everything he could. He did everything right. You understood that Big Show is about the only guy that can make this work. And he did make it work. But what a freaking idea. Pull a guy's casket out of his funeral and tow it off, and the son go chasing after it and jump on it and ride the casket.
I do want to ask you about another moment that I think a lot of mainstream people will remember. When Big Show and Floyd Mayweather were in the ring together, of course, they're getting ready for WrestleMania 24, where Ric Flair famously retired in Florida. But there was a spectacle because Money Mayweather had just become the pay-per-view juggernaut of the boxing landscape. So because he's a wrestling fan, hey, we'll have him mix it up with someone here in WWE. And they choose Big Show, a very unconventional choice. And Bruce has told the story before that I believe he got his nose burst in this.
He sure did. Hey, I was there because we all want, Big Floyd was a terrific celebrity, and he was very nice to all the guys. We're all sitting around, watching them go over their stuff, just kind of like Marks would do. And because we are. And Big Show tells him, go ahead and lay it in. Big Show told him to. Big Show's not, he's a giant. He's tough. He's going to take it for the business. So Floyd goes, no, I won't even touch you. I won't even touch you. So Big Show is sitting on his knees, and then Floyd Mayweather, he takes a punch from a guy who had knocked out 30 or 35, whatever it is, professional fighters. He took it right on the snout. I mean, bro, he busted his nose, broke his nose. I think it broke his nose, but busted his nose for sure. That Big Show starts going after him. If he'd have caught him, he'd have killed him. He would have killed him and probably would have eaten him. It was, and we're sitting in the back and we're dying. Not because we were glad Big Show got here, but if it was anybody, it's just, we know he's okay. We just know what a screw up. And then we're watching Big Show chase him, which he had no chance of catching him. Thank God for Floyd, because Big Show would have killed him. He was furious when he freaking broke his nose, because he gives him the nose. And Floyd says, I won't even touch you. And pow! He didn't mean to. It wasn't like he took a shot at him. He just, I think, got carried away and all of a sudden went to his boxer instincts and punched him. Floyd didn't mean to. He apologized to him later, but, shit happens. But, oh, man, Big Show was mad. Big Show had Akabono, too, by the way. I mean, my God. It was that poor man got stuck with everything.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we just recently covered that. A sumo match at WrestleMania with Akibono. My God. I mean,
yeah, my wife came to see me because I was on WrestleMania somewhere, and they had a practice ring set up or something. Go back there, and my wife tells me, she says, I am scarred for life. I said, what happened? She said, I just saw that Japanese sumo naked. And I said, because, they get treated, like gods by the young boys. Yes. So he just comes out of the ring, just takes off his clothes, and he's sitting there waiting, for him to dress them or whatever they're doing. And, the area was kind of cordoned off, but my wife was coming to get me, and she walked right into Akabono naked. And she's like, I've been scarred for life. But Big Show, Big Show, I'd be interested to see those guys in a shoot. I know Big Show's stronger than him. No doubt about it. Now, Akibono's got the technique and all that stuff. I understand that, but I know Big Show's stronger than him.
Unfortunately, his monster truck was not stronger than Hulk Hogan's. Halloween Havoc 1995, you mentioned it earlier. I think one of his first official actual matches that he had is against Hulk Hogan for the world title. But at this particular WCW pay-per-view, and again, you're not there at the time, but you're a wrestling nerd like all of us. You're keeping up with this.
Yeah.
Off goes the Giant off the top of the building there in Detroit, and they pretend like he fell in the lake, and when he came back to life, and he tag teamed Hulk Hogan with the Yeti later that evening. This has to be something that old JBL would have busted his balls about.
Oh my God. This is so bad. It's so bad. You pushed him off a building. You've killed him. And then he comes back in the same car. You don't like have the mystique of, okay, is the Giant ever coming back? You just bring him back and kill the gimmick.
Yes.
It's crazy. See, you know what Hogan's doing. They've done this since the beginning of time. You bring in some big star and some big giant for Hogan to, eventually go over and drop the leg on it and all that. I get what they're doing. But this was insane. I can't believe this passed Hogan. I guess Bischoff was there at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I can't believe it passed Eric. I mean, this is, I don't know if, I'd love to talk to Eric about this and ask him, what were you thinking? Because there had to be some rationale behind it that it didn't, they had no idea it was going to look so stupid. There's no way they did, or they wouldn't have done it. But I'd love to hear the rationale behind it. We're going to push the Giant off a building, and then he's just going to come back like nothing happened.
Jacob Silva. I'm from Bulls Gap, Tennessee. I was looking for a house, and Jason, when I talked to him, it seemed like he knew a lot about what he was talking about, and he was a big help with anything I ever needed. My first time buying a house, so I didn't know what I was getting into. It was a good experience. I closed actually a week earlier than planned. Anytime I needed help with anything or had any questions, he'd answer right away and help me learn a lot too. I would gladly recommend anybody. Y'all are a big help, and if I ever go to buy a house again, I'd go with y'all again. My name is Jacob Stimmel, and I got into my first home with the team at SaveItConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.